Hello everyone, my name is Roberto Alfonso Lopez Martinez Núñez Olivares de Perez Gautier, but you may call me Robby for short. And today, I'll be your host as we test the knowledge of these fellow Pokemon nerds in an online game show I like to call Poképardy! Let's meet our lovely contestants. First, he is a revered connoisseur of international drag race franchises. Give a warm welcome to Belakboy.
I don't need the HM Surf to wash out the competition. I'll do it myself.
Careful, if you touch her, you might evolve. Say hello to my arch nemesis, Dawn Stone.
My name is Dawn Stone, I am 22 years old, and I am absolutely gonna win this game.
He's a drag race encyclopedia, the people's cheerleader, and cornbread's best friend, JackFed.
Hey everyone, my name is JackFed, a Drag Race superfan and a Pokemon expert. If I don't win, I'm gonna be very sad.
And finally, our resident expert with a doctorate in the field of girly popology. Welcome to the stage, Phaun!
Don't let the pink fool you. Fairy types can snatch points too. Because Clefable and Wigglytuff are pink Pokemon that can also learn the move Snatch. It's the best pun I could make up.
As a parody of the show Jeopardy, this game show is very simple. Contestants will be shown trivia clues phrased as answers, to which they must respond in the form of a question. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, our categories for today's game show are I Should Know This. These are questions about general knowledge that you should definitely know about Pokemon. Who's that Pokemon? Similar to the intermission screen in the original anime, I will show you a silhouette and you have to tell me which Pokemon this is. Pokédex entries, pretty self-explanatory. I will read a Pokédex entry, and you have to guess which Pokemon it is referring to. Name that theme. I will play a piece of music from a Pokemon game, and you will tell me which one it is. I will also accept what game the song is from. And, am I having a stroke? This is for comedic relief. If you answer these correctly, I will be very impressed. The order in which each contestant was introduced will represent the numbers on a 4-sided die that will determine who goes first. With a 4 on the die, Phaun, please choose first.
Slay! Okay, I want to do Pokédex entries for 500. You know me, I'm gonna go all in.
Starting out with the big numbers. Groups of them beat up anything that enters their territory. Each can spit acidic liquid from its mouth. JackFed.
What is Trubbish?
That is incorrect. That is negative 500 points for Mr. JackFed. Anybody else would like to guess?
No.
I have implemented a rule that if we buzz in, everybody who buzzed in must answer. The correct answer is Scrafty.
Oh.
Really?
Scrafty
Scrafty can
apparently
spit
has
acid?
Poisonous acid that it can shoot.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
That is quite literally the last Pokemon I expected.
Alright,
Interesting.
since no one gets that correctly, Phaun, you get to choose one more time.
Let's do Pokédex entries for 100 this time.
The soul of a woman lost on a snowy mountain possessed an icicle, becoming this Pokemon. Belakboy.
I'm so sorry, I did not abide by the rules. I apologize thoroughly for that. This is my mother Frostlass. Oh, sorry, what is my mother Frostlass?
Technically, it's who is my mother Frostlass, but the answer is correct. That is 100 points for Mr. Belakboy, pulling.
That is my daughter. Thank you. She
That's
evolved
my
with a Dawn Stone. She is my daughter.
Dawn was
So
absolutely
true.
wrong.
That makes a lot of
Dawn
sense.
I was robbed.
You know what? Let's give Miss Dawnstrom 50 points for being With Belakboy answering correctly, you get to choose the next question.
May we please go with I Should Know This for 100?
Pokemon Legends Arceus is the only main series game this Pokemon did not appear in. JackFed.
Who is Pikachu?
That is incorrect.
I don't know. I didn't play this one.
That is negative 100 points for Mr. JackFed. Phaun.
Who is Mew?
That is incorrect. That is negative 100 points for Miss Phaun. The correct answer is my son.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I should have known
Oh
that.
yeah, Ditto was in black and white in the post game.
Ditto has been in every main series game except for Legends Arceus, because Legends Arceus does not have a breeding mechanic.
Oh.
Interesting.
With no one answering that correctly, Belakboy, you get to choose one more time.
Let's do Name That Theme. I want to listen to music. Let's do Name That Theme for 100.
This town music is synonymous with a classic meme.
No.
We haven't even heard it, so Don Stone, any guesses?
What is a cumula town?
I think that has to be it, right?
What is a cumula town?
That is correct. Wow, we didn't even.
I knew it was going to be
listen.
Fur at Walk. I knew it was going to be Fur at Walk the moment I saw town theme. That's a meme. In my mind, I thought, okay, he read out the question. That means listen to it and then go for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, I didn't even listen to it. I just like pressed the button because I forgot to press play. And then I was like, oh, well, got it anyways.
Don, having guessed correctly, you get to choose your prompt.
I feel like being silly goofy. Am I having a stroke for 300?
It's not just a blank, it's a rock type. Belakboy.
I'm sorry, I did it again. I'm sorry. It's not just a boulder. It's a rock type. What is a boulder?
That is incorrect.
I was so confident too.
Don.
What is a boulder?
That is the right phrasing. That is the reference. But that is not the answer I'm looking for. I'm trying to think what 150... Someone please pull a calculator. Ah, math!
Negative 150.
Yeah, negative 115.
So the reason I did not give it to you is because I am looking for a specific answer, a specific Pokemon. The Pokemon in question is indeed Iron Boulder.
Oh.
The prompt was a reference to SpongeBob. It was not a finish the quote necessarily.
Smart. So Dawn was kind of on the right track with thinking of the Pokemon.
Yeah, I was like, the Pokemon Boulder.
I knew someone was going to guess that one, and I said, absolutely not.
I feel completely crushed right now.
Dawn, you were the last person to guess correctly the last question, so you get to choose your next prompt.
You know, maybe I'm not having a stroke, so let's name that theme for 200.
Daily Double! This theme plays during a quest to find a legendary Pokemon. JackFed.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I definitely don't know the theme. Is it from Pokemon Sword and Shield?
That is incorrect.
Oh my god. I'm not eating this time.
Phaun.
What is Pokemon Gold and Silver?
That is incorrect. That is negative. Now 300 points for Phaun. Dawn.
What is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time?
That is correct. It is the Sky Tower theme from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue.
That is so Mystery Dungeon coded too. I should have clocked that.
It's not Explorers of Sky, but it is Rescue Team DX. I will give it to you for Mystery Dungeon.
I only knew that because of Pokerogue.
Woo! Dawn pushing in the lead
Goodness.
with 250
These are
points.
cash prizes, right? Cash prizes?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yes!
I have 200. I have $250 for Dawn, and then you all have to pay me. Jack has to pay me $800. That's what that is.
Oh.
Oh god.
Returning to the Poképardy board, Dawn, choose your next prompt.
Who's that Pokemon for 300?
Who's that Pokemon? Phaun.
What is Jigglypuff as a Super Smash Bros. Trophy?
That is correct, Phaun!
It
It is
Wow,
Jigglypuff
that
as
was
a Super
good.
Smash Brothers trophy. That brings Phaun's score to 0.
Right.
Great job! Phaun, you get to choose your next prompt.
Okay, this is my category. Who's that Pokemon for 500?
Who's that Pokemon? Dawn.
What is Pikachu in the Mega Charizard plush?
That is correct. It is
No.
the Build-A-Bear collection.
That is insane.
750 points for Miss Dawn Stone. Alright, Dawn, you get to choose your next prompt.
Pokédex entries for 400?
Small Pokemon seem to feel safe on their broad backs, which are densely covered with trees and other plant life. JackFed.
I mean, I can only go more down, or maybe, I don't know. Who is Meganium?
That is incorrect.
That was like literally the main Pokemon of that game too.
Belakboy.
Who? Oh wait, I'm second guessing myself. I guess I'll go with the obvious. Oh god. Okay, who is Torterra?
That is correct. It is Torterra. Belakboy earning 400 points, which brings his total up to positive 200 points. All right, Belakboy, you get to choose your next prompt.
I couldn't remember if Torterra was in Snap.
The very first area, like Torterra's like in the halfway of that map.
Am I having a stroke for 2?
I love these questions. Daily double! This Pokemon has no value. Phaun.
Who is Victini?
That is correct! The correct answer is Victini.
Pokemon
The Victini
Zero.
is 0 in the Unova Regional
Yes.
Pokédex. Correct. That is...
I love to say Victini's the first non-binary to ever exist.
That,
so.
yes,
Come on.
yes. If you've seen...
It's giving he, she, we, they, them, vegan, vegetarian.
Exactly.
If you've seen Fawn's girly pop tier of all psychic type Pokemon, that is correct. Bringing
Yes.
Phaun up to 400 points with this
Oh my God!
daily double. Dawn, you have competition.
Who's that Pokemon for 4?
Who's that Pokemon? Belakboy.
I'll bite. I'll go again. Who is Jigglypuff from above?
No, it's not Jigglypuff. Come on, there are only so few circular Pokemon. JackFed.
Who is Ditto?
That is incorrect. Bringing JackFed's total to negative 1,600. Phaun.
I feel like you're playing mind games. Who is Voltorb?
That is incorrect. So sorry. Bringing Fawn's total back down to 0. Dawn.
I feel like you're trying to twist our minds. Who is Electrode?
I will give it to you. That is correct.
Hisuian?
Hisuian.
I was gonna say Hisuian Electrode.
1,150 points for Miss
Nice
Dawn.
job, Dawn.
John, you get to decide your next prompt.
How many I should know this is are left? Let's do 300.
The Ghost Terra Jewel from Scarlet and Violet is a reference to this famous glitch. Phaun.
What is Missingno?
That is correct. Better known as...
Yes!
Technically, the correct way of pronouncing his name is Missing Number. Those are its 5 different forms that it could have. Missing No is the 152nd Pokemon in the Red and Blue Pokédex. Bringing Fawn's total up to 300 points. Phaun,
Okay.
you get to choose your next prompt.
I should know this for 5.
These 2 Pokemon are inspired by the Canis Major and Canis Minor constellations.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna implement a little house rule here that if no one buzzes in, I'm gonna deduct that same amount of points to every single person here for not being brave enough to answer this question.
Monet, this is wild.
Slay.
Monet, this is wild.
Oh my god.
Oh,
We are trying
dang
to
it.
play a game, and y'all, we need some points. We need some
Okay.
drama. All right, so the correct answer was Zacian and Zamazenta.
Oh, I was just overthinking it.
Oh.
I
I
knew it.
remember their names.
I was between
Sort of
that and the
shit
Lichen
done.
Rocks.
TNT, we love drama. If nobody answers, none of y'all are getting points. In fact, points are getting deducted to your score. Since the last person that answered correctly was Phaun, choose the next prompt.
I should know this for 4.
This Pokemon has a lower catch rate than its evolved form. Phaun,
What is Bonsley?
that is incorrect.
Oh.
Bringing your total down to negative 600. JackFed.
What is Munchlax?
That is also incorrect, bringing your total down to negative 2,500 points. The correct answer is Makuida, because its catch rate is 180, while Hariyama's is 200. Returning back to the Poképardy board, I am going to give a chance to JackFed to choose a prompt.
Yay.
Sorry.
I should know this for 200.
This Luminion is the female. Belakboy.
What is the Luminion on the right?
That is incorrect. Phaun.
Come on, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
What's the Luminion on the left?
That is correct. The female
Oh my
Lumineon
God.
is on the left as its lower fins are longer.
You're welcome, Phaun.
I knew it.
Bringing Fawn's total up to negative 400 points. And with Belakboy answering incorrectly, that is negative 900 points.
I was just gonna say yes, it is female.
With the category of I should know this finished, in the very dead last place we have poor JackFed with negative 2,500 points. JackFed, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I think every single answer I have given has logic behind it, and in an alternate reality, I'm at 2,500 points.
During our first recording of this session, JackFed was the original winner of Poképardy. In our hearts, JackFed is our original winner. In third place, we have Belakboy with negative 900 points.
I don't like being in debt again, because I owe Robby $900 now. But I'm in it to win it. I will make that comeback. Don't you worry.
And in second place, we have Phaun with negative 400 points. Phaun, what's going through your mind?
Much like Belakboy, I am very motivated to get myself out of debt. I feel frightened by the future of this game, but I'm here to at least break even. So.
And with all the debts that my players have for me, the only person that I would, for as of now, have to pay out is Miss Dawn in first place with positive 650 points. Dawn, what is going through your mind right now?
My mind is telling me to remember to ask it as a question so I don't die.
Ask it as a question so you don't die. I'm going to roll a d4. This lovely d4 from, not sponsored, this is from onlycrids.com. Look at how pretty that is if my camera would like to focus. Wow, so blurry. Incredible.
Sponsored by Mio.
With a 2 on the die. That is Dawn Stone.
Well, yes. Let's do name that theme. Which name that themes do we have left? Let's do 300.
This music plays in this hidden underwater location. Dawn.
What is the Abyssal Ruins in Unova?
That is correct. The Abyssal Ruins from Pokemon Black and White. Resetting all
Dawn
the
is
buzzers.
locked in.
See, this is an ongoing trend for me, where if I fail one thing at the first time, I will learn from my mistakes and win.
Was that how you explain your drag?
Yes! Well, yes!
Make sure to add the shade rattle to that.
That was clutch that tea.
Oh my god. Dawn, with a correctly answered prompt, choose your next one.
Name that theme for 4, please.
This retro battle theme belongs to this strange character. JackFed.
It sounds like the other theme. It's from the GBA Pokemon trading card game.
That is correct.
Yeah.
It is Imakuni's theme from the Pokemon trading card game, bringing JackFed's score to 2,100 negative points.
I
feel like Chanel.
That is a good theme.
JackFed, choose your next prompt.
Oh gosh, let's finish out Name That Theme for 500.
Name that theme for 500. This theme is often heard in this spin-off game for the Game Boy Advance. Belakboy.
What is the Pokemon pinball game?
That is correct! It is from Pokemon Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire, bringing Belak's total to negative 400 points. Wow. Wow. Very impressed that someone got that.
Someone's coming for my spot.
Can we please do Who's That Pokemon for 1?
Who's that Pokemon for 100? Dawn.
What is Fido?
That is correct, bringing Dawn's total to 1,050 points.
There was a 50% chance that would have been just Ditto Molten.
I know. I was like, I feel like I can risk 100 points right now.
That's true.
All right, Dawn, choose your next prompt.
Let's do Pokédex entries for 3, please.
The daily double! Woo! The antenna on its head captures radio waves from the world of spirits that command it to take people there. Belakboy.
Who is Dusknoir?
That is correct. Dusknoir. 600 points for Mr. Belakboy. Wow, no longer in debt. 200 positive points. Wow, great job. Belakboy pulling into second place. Great job. Great job.
Thank you, thank you. Let's finish out Pokédex entries, please.
It's thought that this Pokemon lived in ancient Paldea until it got caught in seismic shifts and went extinct. Dawn.
Who is Terapagos?
That is correct. Bringing Dawn's score up to 1,250 points.
Share some Slay Dawn, please.
Let me be a Mio girl and then I will.
We only have 4 prompts left.
I feel like having a stroke. Let's have a stroke for 5. That's so terrible. That sounds so bad coming. I'm gonna stop talking.
This is I'm so glad you chose this. This is my favorite prompt.
Oh god.
This silly Pokemon would make for a great pastry. Now, because it is my favorite prompt, I am going to ask everybody to buzz in. You must Phaun.
What is Gigantamax All Creamy?
That is not the answer that I am looking for. That is negative 900 points for Phaun.
Yes!
Dawn.
Who is Armaldo? Because it's all dough.
No. Great guess, but that is not the answer that I'm looking for.
It was Ditto.
No.
Snaps to you, mama.
Props to you, mama. Negative 2,600 points. And
Okay.
Belakboy, your answer.
I don't know. Who is Hapini? I don't know.
Papini. Sounds like
One.
Panini.
Negative 300
It's
points
so much time getting out of
for
debt.
Belakboy. The correct
God.
answer
Oh, I-
is Toaster Strudel.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, I never would have gotten that.
Oh, that was close. Like, I mean, I wasn't close, but I was thinking about Route 1 because I was thinking about Fido.
I'm gonna give Belakboy a chance to choose a prompt.
Let's have a stroke for 100.
The amount of Pokemon in existence. Dawn.
What is an infinite amount of Pokemon?
That is not the answer that I am looking for. Phaun.
What is no Pokemon because they're not real?
Great
It
guess.
was real to
Great guess, but they are very real to me.
Oh, okay.
I know it's like a pun or something, but I can't think of like whatever pun it would be right now.
The correct answer is too many.
Oh.
I said infinite.
Well,
I think that
infinite
should-
was not the answer that I was looking for, Don. We are not getting those 100 points back.
Wow.
Going back
you're
to
doing
the
just fine,
Poképardy
Don.
board. 2 prompts left, and I will let Jack choose.
Just to diversify it a little bit, let's do Who's That Pokemon for 200.
Who's that Pokemon for 200?
Buzzer.
Oh, with.
I see. No.
Aww.
I'm going to honor what was done, and JackFed, you get to answer first.
I'm traumatized, but who's Oshawott?
That
Not
is
correct.
Not correct.
Okay.
That is not correct. Dawn.
Is it the rumored platypus with an acorn on its head?
That is correct! It is the fake
I knew
Oshawott
it.
leak before the game's Black and White released. Alright, who's ready to have a stroke with me? Final Poképardy question. Am I having a stroke? For 400. It's literally just a robot. Phaun.
Who is Porygon?
That is not correct.
Oh my goodness, I was so sure I was gonna get this one.
Jack.
I didn't even watch this part of the anime, but who is Clembot from the X and Y anime?
You know what, Jack, that I'm gonna give you?
Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you so
The
much.
answer is F00, an
Oh.
opponent from the Pokestar Studios in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. I am going to give you the points for correctly answering that it was not a Pokemon, but literally just a robot. Alright, for our folks at home watching, we have in dead last, poor Jack with negative 2,400 points. Do you feel like you stand a chance at winning this game?
Yeah, I do feel like I stand a chance. There could always be a 3-star twist at the talent show. So I'm hoping that happens today. I'm not throwing anything out there, but I'm just hoping.
Phaun in third place with negative 1,400 points. Phaun, tell me, what are your chances looking at winning this game?
Well, I'm totally suspended in the fantasy of this board, so I think that really anything is possible.
That is so true. And in second place, we have Mr. Belak with negative 300 points. It's just so close to not being in debt with me, and now once again in debt. But now not $900. Now it's only $300. Belak, how do you feel?
You're so generous, Robby. You're so generous.
Oh, thank you.
Knocking it down from 9 to 300. I'm feeling good. You know, if there's one thing I've learned from a RobbyForShort original, it's that anything can happen. Anyone can lose, anyone can win. So I'm excited to see how this turns out.
I'm excited too to see how our front runner will fare in our final Poképardy with 850 points. Dawn Stone, how are you feeling?
I love it.
Moving on to our final Poképardy. Our final Poképardy. Anything can happen. Anyone can win. This is for all the marbles. Our category is Bring It to the Runway. As you all may know, I am best known for my Drag Race and Pokemon crossovers. In this final Poképardy, each player will present a runway look from the following selection and must convince me on which Pokemon they would choose. Any Pokemon is accepted except for Ditto and Arceus. Ditto is not allowed because Ditto is my son, and my son only. Only I am allowed to have Ditto on this very YouTube channel. And Arceus is also not allowed for reasons that I have not yet disclosed on my Drag Race Pokemon series. These were decided based on the previous recording of Poképardy, where we mentioned before, JackFed was the original frontrunner. Is everybody ready? Yes, so much
Yes,
yes,
yes.
Everybody,
I'm so
I have
ready.
traumatized everybody in this game. I love it. Phaun, with Jujubee's work of art runway from UK vs. the World Season 1, which Pokemon have you decided? Make a lovely presentation, make a case for me.
The funny thing is about Jujubee is I keep seeing her in the RuPaul multiverse, even though like I'm not really like caught up. So I wanted to do a Pokemon that matched her look, but also represented the fact that she just keeps going and going and going and going. So I chose Bramblin because Bramblin has a whole kit that's about rolling and rolling and rolling. It's also a little bit spiky like her headpiece.
Very interesting choice. I like that. That I will withhold any final decisions until the very end. And we will move on to our next contestant, Belakboy, with Chorizame's Feeling Fruity runway from Drag Race UK Series 3.
I thought about this in a way that goes beyond the look itself, where I thought about Choriza May as a character as a whole. Choriza May is an immigrant to the UK. She's a lovely immigrant from Spain. And so I was thinking along the lines of, is there a Pokemon from Galar? Galar, of course, being inspired by the United Kingdom. Is there a Pokemon from Galar that might be able to fit this mold? And you have to stick with me here, but I am going to go with Eternatus. Because though I could not find a specific Mediterranean Pokemon that might have been a convenient, well-placed immigrant within the UK and or Galar, but Eternatus is not of this world. I think in that very nature, the migration into Galar represents everything that Choriza May represents. And then on top of that, this look is gorgeous, and even if Eternatus is an unnatural being, or I should say not of this world, it would look gorgeous on anybody, and I rest my case.
You rest your case. All right, a very, very compelling argument from Belakboy. We'll move on to our next contestant, who is Dawn Strone with Aurora Matrix's Coronation Eleganza look from Canada's Drag Race Season 4.
Well, out of all the Pokemon that could be used to represent Aurora Matrix's stunning Canada's Drag Race finale runway, I would say there is no better choice than the iconic red Gyarados from the Lake of Rage.
Ooh.
And because the red Gyarados are inspired by particularly Chinese mythology, right? About how a tiny fish could jump up over a waterfall and become a dragon. And specifically the red Gyarados was inspired by those dragons. And in Chinese culture, red symbolizes good luck. It symbolizes good fortune. And that represents the fact that Aurora had a fantastic run on Canada's Drag Race Season 4, cementing herself as a lip-sync assassin, placing top 2 in the lip-sync Lollapalooza. And she was the only queen on her season to win more than one challenge, which I would say, is pretty lucky. I mean, but I wouldn't say it's luck, it's all talent. But I would say she brought Red Gyarados as a sign of good luck.
Brings good luck and good fortune. Not enough fortune to win, unfortunately. We'll move on to our next contestant. JackFed with Marina Summers' redemption look from UK versus Aurora Season 2. I'm sorry, I did not mean to be shady to Aurora Matrix, but it just seemed correct.
I'm pulling out the Jan robe.
So what's
the Jan robe? Wow.
That's what I feel right now.
What's crazy is me and Dawn were actually thinking very, very similar things. Because I thought about Marina's redemption look. You know, it's crystallized, it's having to do with a fish. So I decided to choose terrestrialized Magikarp. And I even have a little image to show you of Marina posing with her.
Wow.
Little terrestrialized Magikarp.
I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
I think that the runway that is chosen about redemption, Magikarp needs redemption because it is one of, if not the weakest Pokemon out there. And it's going to eventually redeem itself into a beautiful, beautiful Gyarados, like kind of similar to what Dawn was talking about, but mine's Crystal. And I need to redeem myself because I am in last place in this game. And it just reigns true to who I am. And Marina Summers is also Filipino, just like me. And I think it really it's a good link. And sorry, not to get emotional here, but I just really love her. And I think that I deserve to win because of that. Thank you.
That was a beautiful performance. I loved it.
It's all real.
It was our first time hearing it, too.
It must be method acting.
Mama.
Stanislavski, correct?
Yes, I love
No way
him.
for saying that.
Kudos, mama.
Oh my gosh. I feel very compelled by Jack's story, and again, just bringing that visual representation. I have aphantasia, I can't really picture things in my mind, so I really do enjoy. You went above and beyond to show me, not only just give me an explanation, but show me your explanation.
And I 100% knew that you had that too, so that's why I did it.
You're probably seeing the picture right now, but he also has a trading card of like terrestrialized Gyarados in the corner, and I just think Jack is a fan of the Pokemon trading card game. He knows the ins and outs of that.
But it ain't a Gyarados yet. It's still a Magikarp.
Listen, if there's anything that Weedle Twin Needle has taught me from watching his YouTube videos, is that you can do anything if you try hard enough to troll somebody. Alright, I have a very hard decision to make. Please let me excuse myself while I make a decision. Please give me a moment.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
he's gone. Okay, RuPaul. Okay, RuPaul, I see you.
Ladies, I have made my decision. The winner of our final Poképardy, for all the marbles, the person that gave me the most compelling argument is JackFed. Congratulations! I am so moved by your story. I really do love the entire story, and just I love the visual representation, going above and beyond. Truly, congratulations on being the winner of Poképardy. Thank you so much for your effort, and I just really did not want to let Dawn Stone win.
If I could curse, there were words that I would be saying right now.
You know, after getting every question wrong but 2, I feel like this was the most deserved win in Poképardy history.
Wow, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Well, you all can find me at Belakboy on TikTok, Belakboy on YouTube. It's Belakboy on Twitter, and Belak_Matt_ on Instagram. I have a lot of fun content coming up regarding Drag Race if you're interested in that. The next video will be about Canada versus the World Season 2. Other than that, I'll see you all on Poképardy All-Stars.
If you're ever in the Tampa area, you can find me around. I'm usually all around in Tampa, in Orlando, any area over there. You can find me on all socials at The Dawn Stone. That's Instagram, Twitter. I stream on Twitch. I am doing a stream with my friend Opal Crumble starting next Sunday, where he is teaching me how to play Fire Emblem. On Mondays, every other Monday, I am teaching my friend her first playthrough of Pokemon. And on Tuesdays, I am doing either a random stream or a VGC practice.
I should. Eventually, I am going to start a Pokemon YouTube channel about my journey in the trading card game. I travel a lot for it. I play a lot of it. So eventually that'll come out. You can find me on Twitter at JackFedYT. Instagram jack.fed, and hashtag justice for Dawn Stone, robbed from Poképardy.
Right, if you're interested in learning anything about girly popology, you can find me on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Instagram. Just look up Phaun and look for something pink and you'll find me. I'm currently in my YouTube era. Please check out my girly pop tier list. We're really getting down to the nitty gritty of the academic exploration of it all. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out. You gotta keep your finger on the pulse of girly popology. So check me out.
That is true. That is Phaun with a Phaun. Not
For the
an
aesthetic,
F,
yeah.
not a
Yeah.
W. It is for the aesthetics. Thank you all so very much for joining me for my first gig as a game show host. Alex Trebek is dead. Oops. The guy that hosts Jeopardy now. I'm coming for your gig, sir. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate you being here. Bye!